I'm demonstrating to you how to complete the assignment filling out an application, either an employment application or an education application. Here are the instructions. Depending on your next path in life, for this assignment you'll choose to complete either an employment application or a college application. Now here are several choices you can make. In this assignment you have two applications available for you to choose to complete, either an employment application or an education application, and you can choose one of those I've provided, or you can choose to complete an actual application, either employment or education, and submit it. Several of you are in the process of applying for jobs or post-secondary education. Let's kill two birds with one stone and submit actual work. And if this is not your case, you can complete one of the applications provided in this assignment. If you choose to submit an actual application, meaning one that's not provided, you'll need to take a snip, screenshot, etc., copy and paste it into a blank Word document and submit it. So first I want to point out to you that here is a rubric. So here is the rubric for the application. The application is neatly written and typed, 10 points. Written or typed, I should say. You have used correct spelling, grammar, and complete sentences when needed. Again, 10 points. And all sections are addressed and complete. Another 10 points. So this assignment is worth a total of 30 points. Now, the next part that I want to demonstrate to you is this right here, filling out a sample application. And here again are those same instructions that I just read to you. You download or open one of the supplied applications, employment or education, or open an application that you're presently completing. Fill in the fields using correct spelling, grammar, and full sentences when needed for each section on the application. Remember, if a section does not apply, use either NA or lines. We don't want to leave sections blank. Save your work to your transition portfolio folder and then submit the completed application to the Dropbox. Fill out a sample application, or if you've completed an actual application, take a snip, screenshot, etc., copy and paste it into the blank Word document and submit it to that same Dropbox. Next is either the college application that I'm providing that you can fill out, or the sample application for work, employment. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to fill out this sample application for employment. So it's downloaded here in the corner. I'm opening it up. First I need to click on Enable Edit. So I'm going to click on it, and now I'm ready to fill it out. Fill in the fields for each section below, if applicable. So the first, obviously, is your name. Click here in the gray box, and then type. I'm just tabbing from spot to spot, and I'm going to fill in each section. So, see, I already made a mistake. Last name, make sure that you're reading the instructions. First name, middle initial, and today's date. Next is your street address. Again, clicking in the gray box. So just my street address. Apartment number, I don't have one, so I'm going to put NA or the lines. Again, we don't want to leave any portion blank. Next is city, tab, and your zip code. Next is your phone number. Tabbing from spot to spot. I'm going to delete that and type in the gray box again. And then your email address. Again, remember we want to use a professional email address. Date available. So if you are presently working and you need to end that job in order to start this new job, you could say 2 weeks, because that's a typical amount of time that you would give a present employer notice of you leaving. So you could write 2 weeks, or you could write immediate, whichever is your case, or a specific date. Next is your Social Security number. Now this should either be on your fact sheet that I gave you in class, or you should have it committed to memory. Now, you don't want to just give your Social Security out to the general population, which I am. So because I am not an actual employer, I don't want you to use your actual Social Security number here, but instead, I'm telling you to know your Social Security number, but only use X's for this assignment. So I'm going to delete those instructions, and I'm going to put in here what would be my Social Security number. Okay? So understand that you need to know your Social Security number or refer to your fact sheet, but for this assignment, don't give me your Social Security number. That's very dangerous. Next is desired salary. Now, if you remember yesterday, in the video we watched, they talked about salary. You don't want to give a salary because you don't want to overprice yourself, or you don't want to underprice yourself. So you could either give a salary range after you've done some homework and know what your career demands in the salary range, or you could say negotiable. So I'm going to go ahead and type in this section, negotiable, meaning we'll talk about it, you'll give me some insight, and then I'll settle on something. Position applied for. Remember, we want to apply to a specific position. We don't want to apply for any position. We don't want to sound desperate. Plus, we're not qualified for any position. So depending on what your career plan A is, that's the job title you want to use. I'm applying for a high school teacher because that is my career plan A. Next, are you a citizen of the United States? Yes or no? I'm hoping that the answer for all of us is yes. If no, are you authorized to work in the U.S.? Yes or no? Again, I hope the answer is yes. Have you ever worked for this company? Assuming no. If yes, when? Again, it's not applicable because it was not yes. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? My answer is no. But some of you may have a felony on your record. Now, we're not talking about a driving infraction like a parking ticket or a speeding ticket. We're talking about felonies like stealing or embezzlement or something of the sort. If the answer is yes, explain. The answer is not. So again, I'm going to put NA. Next is education. Now, remember, just like we talked in when we completed our resumes, you want to list these in reverse chronological order. So you want to list your most recent education first. So we are all at Insight School of Ohio now. And again, we want to write out that full name. We don't want to abbreviate. We're all at Insight School of Ohio now, so that should be our first entry. Then the address. The address for your school is 300 Airport Drive in Columbus, Ohio. It's not where you live. It is the actual offices for Insight School of Ohio, which is here. Now, the dates that you attended. So, from whatever time you came to Insight School of Ohio, so I'm going to make up some, well, I'm going to use my start date. So I started at Insight School of Ohio in July of 2015, and I'm still here, so I'm going to say to present. Did I graduate? Not yet. And what is my degree? I'm not earning a degree, so I'm going to go ahead and put an A. Now, if I attended a high school prior to Insight School of Ohio, I'm going to list that here. I'm going to go ahead and stop taping for a moment. So I filled in my information about my other high school experience, again, remember, in reverse chronological order, so the school that you're at now, your previous schools. Now, if you attended another school prior to this second school, fill it out. If not, then you would list NA, and that would apply to all of this whole section. You don't have to put NA for address from to. You don't have to put NA. If this section is NA, the whole thing is NA, not applicable. Scrolling down. References. Remember, we want to list 3 professional references, and you can list people like teachers, guidance counselors, pastors, ministers, coaches, people who can speak highly of you. You want to include their full name, your relationship, the company or your relation to where they work, their phone number, and their address. I'm going to go ahead and stop taping and fill in this information. So I filled in my 3 references. Notice again, I've given the full name, my relationship to them, the company that they work for, if there is a company that they represent. You'll note, well, and then phone number and then address. Make sure you look these up and have them ready to go for your real applications. Now, let me point out to you down here that this 3rd reference is a coach. He does not represent a company, or she, so therefore I used NA. But I still want to be able to give a phone number so that they can contact this individual to find out my character. Next is previous employment. Remember, reverse chronological order. So your most recent employment history first. If you don't have any employment, you would simply put NA. I'm going to stop taping and fill in this information. So I filled in my previous employment. Here is my present employment. Make sure that you fill in all the information when you're talking about your responsibilities. Again, use action words, use verbs, construct and deliver, manage, communicate, maintain. Coming down to my my previous employment to Insight School of Ohio. Again, make sure that you are giving all the information. Starting salary, ending salary, responsibilities. Again, use those action verbs. Maintain, update, schedule and develop. When you're talking about reason for leaving, be positive. Maybe you didn't like your employer. Maybe you didn't like your coworkers. Don't say that. Find some more specific reason that you are leaving, that you left your employment. Next, when we come down here to military service, I don't think that any of you have any. If you do, obviously fill in the information. If not, simply use NA. And again, if it's NA here, all of this is NA. Next, the disclaimer. Read the disclaimer, make sure you understand and agree, and then you can simply sign your name by typing it if you're using an online application, or print it out, sign it, and then scan it and send it, and then again today's date. You'll notice down here it says if you want, it's optional, you can complete the experience works practice application here instead of this application. Whichever one you complete, you can save your work to your transition portfolio folder and then submit it into the Dropbox, filling out an employment application. And that's the end. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email or call me, and we will work on this in class. Good luck.